and welcome to the channel. My name is Mark, and for this video, we'll be reacting to another Geography Now video. This one is for the country India, and this is a requested reaction after I've reacted to Geography Now Brazil. Let's see what we'll know more about India on this video. What are the new information that we'll get on this video about India? So let's go ahead and start watching. Before we start, I just want to let you know that this is going to be a two-part reaction video. The video is quite long, so I'm gonna do it in two parts, and then yeah. So because I also think that there are going to be like a lot of information that we'll see on this video, so we'll might have like an information overload or something. I'm just gonna split this one up into two videos, so that I can also consume all those information that we will have or we will get from this video. So yeah, let's go ahead and start watching.
So we have finally encroached upon the giant India. Some of you have been waiting a long time for this episode. I'm just gonna say straight up, you all know India is incredibly complex and diverse. Even Indians
That
have
I
trouble
know.
understanding their own country. Obviously, I won't be able to scratch even the surface in this episode.
It's like a big country.
A lot of you Indian geographers have helped me along the way, so thank you. And without further ado, let's begin. It's time to learn
Geography.
Hey everybody, I'm your host Barbie. This place doesn't even need much of an introduction. Everybody has heard of India. It's big, it's loud, it's colorful, and most importantly, it has a plethora of confusing territorial anomalies that I just can't wait to cover. Here we go.
Political geography.
India is a place where everyone is in a hurry, but no one is ever on time. First of all, India is located in South
the Philippines,
Asia, right on the Indian and Arabian Seas and the Bay of Bengal, bordered by 6 other countries, so close to 7, but that land bridge between Sri Lanka got wiped away like 600 years ago by a cyclone. India is divided into 29 states and 7 union
29
territories,
states.
New Delhi, which acts as its own
union territories.
Located in the capital territory. Keep in mind, New Delhi is actually just the name of one of the districts in the capital territory, made up of 11. The largest city, however, is actually...
Okay, that got me like confused. So they have like a capital territory, and they also have like a capital in that capital territory. Is that it?
Mumbai, with New Delhi, Bangalore or Bengaluru, and Hyderabad following after. However, the 4 busiest airports are Delhi Indira Gandhi International, Mumbai's Chhatrapati Shivaji International, Bengaluru's Kempe Gowda International, and Chennai International in the south. You know why I'm smiling. This is my favorite part of
Atta, maybe domestic, Ayata International.
India is loaded with strange borders and deliciously complex demarcation lines. First of all, what exactly is a union
divisions?
Territory? In the simplest way I can put this, union territories are places that are too distinct to be incorporated into a state, but too small to have their own local governments. The first one, of course, is the Delhi National Capital Territory, where the capital lies. Chandigarh is a post-independent city constructed to replace Lahore as the capital of the Punjab area after it was split up between India and Pakistan.
Lahore.
Territories, the smallest one,
like I was watching a vlog of Francis Kanja when he went to like Pakistan, and he went to Lahore. I thought that was like in Pakistan. So there was this like Punjab region. Okay, let me just go back a bit. I've seen Sentinelese, so I know like a little bit of like the Sentinel Island, where no one goes there because like there is like a tribe there that the Sentinelese lives there, and they are like, how do you say that, remote, that they don't have like a real interaction with like the people outside of the Sentinel Island. So, and like when people go there, they are not really like that welcoming. And I think there have been a few attempts to go there, and yeah, I think no one had been successful. I think there's one, if I'm remembering correctly from the videos that I've watched. But yeah, I think at the end, that person, I don't know. But you can check that one out. The story about Sentinel Island. There are like videos online of people like trying to like communicate with the tribe there, and they were like giving them coconuts, I think. That was the video that I've watched. And I also know a fact, or one thing, there's a shipwreck there.
To be a short-lived colony of Denmark. Finally, the 3 remaining territories are former European colony towns and ports. Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu, which are separated by about 200 kilometers across the Gulf of Kambat, and the most confusing union territory, the French-speaking Puducherry, which is actually split up between 4 district cities across India: Karikal, Mahe, Yanaon, and Pondicherry. Pondicherry is strange because it has 11 enclaves within the Tamil Nadu state. Oh, and in this area, you can also find the experimental hippie.
You know how like the India is a country, like, right? Then it's divided into like 29 states, and then like a state is divided into like territories, and then each territory is divided into like enclaves, exclaves. So it's so like super, divided into like parts.
Ish commune with a little bit of controversy. Look it up. And don't forget.
Sorry if I'm posting this one because it reminds me a lot of things when I'm watching this right now. This part that I remembered there's this anime, like a movie that is an animation movie, where it involves like a tsunami kind of event, and then people it's a Japanese like movie, and people went into like something like this. It's an area of like people, like a commune.
This area, you can also find the experimental hippie-ish commune with a little bit of controversy. Yeah. Look it up. And don't forget, here, the eastern states, also known as the Seven Sisters, are connected by this incredibly narrow 27-kilometer wide pathway known as the Siliguri Corridor. This pathway is like a crucial artery that completes the India puzzle. Or so you would think. Now let's discuss the juicy stuff. Now, in the China episode, I already talked about the disputed areas with India, such as Aksai Chin and Arunachal Pradesh. The latter pretty much just belonging to India, as it's almost completely inhabited and operated by Indians. So let's move to the other disputes. Now, as of 2015, the Bangladesh episode is already outdated, as India and Bangladesh have finally come to an agreement over the frighteningly complex former enclave-exclave dispute. In the end, India only lost about 40 square kilometers of land to Bangladesh, and now only a few enclaves and exclaves exist. Now let's head north. Now, when you try to draw the shape of India, you might want to be careful which depiction you use. Some might use this picture, some might use this, some might use this, and those that don't really study very well might use this. The point is, the whole area is like the most militarized, diplomatically stressed out region on the planet. It's already had like 4 wars in the past half century. Basically, India, Pakistan, and to some extent China all want the entire area themselves, although it's more of like a Pakistan-India thing. In the China episode, we already discussed the Chinese disputes with India, so I won't cover those in this episode. If you want to learn more, just watch the China episode. But anyway, this entire area was a former domain known as the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir that was under royal Maharaja rulers all the way up until independence. Currently, this place is split up by this fenced-off militarized line known as the line of control between India and Pakistan. Why is this? Well, in the quickest way I can put this,
okay, the British are out. We get to take your land.
No, we want to be an independent princely state.
We're supposed to take your land, and majority of your people are Muslim, just like us, even though your ruler is Hindu as well.
Hey, India? Yeah? If you help me, I'll let you secede my territory to your land with autonomy. Deal. Ha! Your problem now! I love how Mike played India. He totally represents India. Oh, and keep in mind, Pakistan's capital, Islamabad, is less than 80 kilometers away from all that drama. The line of control meanders through the mountains until it stops at a point called NJ9842. This is where things get really crazy, because from there you hit the Siachen Glacier, the second longest non-polar glacier in the world, and this is pretty much the dead man zone. After point NJ9842, you hit the actual ground position line, a series of military outposts that extend all the way to the Chinese border. That means everything in this area is ground zero for the Indo-Pak tension. You know, the crazy thing is there's actually literally small towns of normal, regular civilians living in these areas high up in the mountains. Many of there's actually literally small.
This picture reminds me of the vlogs that I've watched about Pakistan. This kind of like picture.
Towns of normal, regular civilians living in these areas high up in the mountains, many of which just go about daily life, going to work and raising their families. Otherwise, they have a river dispute with Nepal and various river islands disputed with Bangladesh. Outside of all the dispute stuff though, India not only has the world's second largest road network and 3 of the world's top 10 megacities and their own space program, but they also have a copious abundance of land.
I didn't know that they have like a space program though.
But some of the ones that you guys, the Indian geographers, have told me to mention include places like the abandoned Danush Kodi Ghost City, Golconda Fort,
I know that.
The 4 pillars of Charminar, the Ajanta Buddhist art caves,
I know that.
know this, know that.
Ruins, okay. That's one. Sorry, I'm posting a lot of times.
The Ajanta Buddhist art caves, the
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, because I think I've also watched like a documentary or like a video about this place. I don't know if this is it. But this there is a question about this one where people are asking, or like people are baffled how they were able to make this during the time that they were made, like where modern technology is not available, how they were able to carve this kind of like temple or ruin in like a stone, or like a stone mountain, because you need like a lot of like tools and equipments to do that, which is like right now it can be done during our day and age, but before, when this was created, how did they do that? Like that's like the question actually on that video that I've watched. So I don't know if this like place.
Monolithic ruins, Mandu Fortress, the Golden Temple, which feeds over 100,000 people a day, the Golgumbaz
Ooh.
Mausoleum, the Kalavantin Durg Post, the
That's
ruins
beautiful.
of Hampi, the hill forts of Rajasthan, Shatrunjaya Hill, which is
That's
basically
more
like
like
a Mecca for
temples,
Jains, the
and
Temple
they're
of the
so
Bodhi Tree, Jal Mahal,
beautiful.
Vanguard Fort, the most haunted place in India, Mahabad
Oh.
Maqbara, and keep in mind, just like in China, you can find a Great Wall of India
Really?
in Rajsamand. There's also the Paritala Anjaneya Temple with the largest
I didn't
statue in
know
India
about that.
depicting Hanuman, and at over 150 acres, the Sri Rangan Attaswamy Temple, the
See the
largest Hindu temple
details
in the
on
world.
this
Oh, yeah, and there's also
temples.
that building with the stuff in the thing, whatever. Anyway, we could go on
Taj
for centuries
Mahal.
talking about India's rich constructed domicile, but what it lies on top of is even more fascinating.
Mystical
Now,
geography.
don't make this mistake.
I'm going to India. All I need are my sandals and sunscreen.
Okay. That's a common like misconception about India, but me being able to like having watched a couple of like travel vlogs in India and as well as Pakistan, because they're like just near each other, and seeing people basically are vloggers like traveling there, I discovered that there are actually areas in India that are like in the mountain area part. It's cold. Like there is snow. I don't know. Like correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there is this like trip where you can go drive a motorcycle all the way to like the top of the mountain and then back. There's that kind of trip that you pay for, and then you do like motorbike ride. There's this video. If you know the channel Tim and Finn, I think I'm correct. Tim and Finn channel. I don't know if I'm correct, but yeah, there's this vloggers. They are a couple, and then the one of them went to that motorbike road trip in India, and in that road trip, like there is like really a point in India where it's not like just all hot areas, like as like we know from my childhood. I know of India as something like a desert like kind of area where it's like hot, things like that, but it's not. Like there are parts in India that are cold. And if you have watched Three Idiots, like if you watch Three Idiots, you would also notice that. And if you also watch Tara Zameen Par or Every Child is Special, if you watch those movies, you would also notice that the type of clothing that they are wearing are different. Like when Ishan went to like the boarding school for like the boys, and you would also notice that the type of clothing changed from compared to what he was wearing when he was like at home on their area. So yeah, you would like what he said, like he just needs sandals, and it's not the case always.
Now, as the 7th largest country in the land area, India has a wide range of landscapes,
True.
climates, and elevations that all contrast from one corner to the other. First of all, let's talk about the north. India sits on the Indian tectonic plate that essentially smashed into the Eurasian plate, which in return created the largest mountain range in the world, the Himalayas. The force is so strong that it's estimated that the Himalayas grow about 2.4 inches or 6.9
Really?
centimeters every year. There's also where you can find Kanchenjunga, the tallest mountain in India, or the 3rd in the world, right on the border of Nepal.
Nepal.
Keep your eye on these mountains. These are pretty much the source of most of India's major rivers
Yep.
that give life to the whole country. That's why India
the
takes these mountains so
melting
seriously.
of the
Also find the
caps.
largest natural lake, Wular, up in the
Wular
Jammu
Lake.
area. Below the Himalayas, you reach the North Indian River Plain, sometimes referred to as the Indus
Ganga.
Ganga. This is the most fertile part of India, where the most important rivers like the Ganges and its tributaries flow.
Ooh.
Heading a little south, you reach the Satpura and Vindhya ranges that pretty much divide
Satpura,
North India
Vindhya.
from South India. On each side, you get the West and East Ghat Mountains, which in return creates this massive triangle thing called the Deccan Plateau. This
Deccan
place is
Plateau.
moderately forest, especially in the east in the Chotra Nagpur Plateau. You get a
Chota.
section of the swampy Sundarbans that they share with Bangladesh. Check out the Bangladesh episode. Head a little west and you get the dry Thar Desert along the border with Pakistan,
See?
as well as the Ran of Kutch,
Like there's
known
the
as South
desert
Desert.
area,
And
there's
finally,
like
the only
a
active
tropical
volcanic
area,
would
there's
be the
like
Andaman and Nicobar
the
Islands, with
snow-capped
Barren Island having
mountains.
actual conical eruptions, and Baratan having tame mud volcanoes. Now here's the thing, although India has a relatively high population density, they do relatively well with maintaining their ecological footing. In fact, in 2016, they beat a world record by planting
Wow,
50
that's
million trees
amazing.
in one day. They've also agreed to reforest about 12% of their country.
Good
by
move.
2030. The most heavily forested area being the 7 sister states in East India. Now, one of the factors that contributes to this would be the fact that India has the lowest meat consumption in the world, with the highest population percentage of vegetarians at around 40%. Most of whom are
Spices,
lacto
there's
vegetarians that
spices.
consume milk
There's
products. By the way,
like
in
that's
India,
one
when
of
buying groceries, this label
their
means vegetarian and this one means not vegetarian.
thing.
Nonetheless, the remainder of the population
Spices.
does typically eat some kind of animal protein, mostly in the forms of seafood
And
or
they
chicken, but almost never
consider
beef
cow
or
as
pork,
sacred.
unless if you are part of the Muslim or Christian minorities scattered throughout the west and east areas. Now, let's talk about the role of cattle, shall
Yeah.
we? India has more cattle
Should.
and livestock than anywhere else in the world at around 330 million. And it's interesting because since they have prevalent Hindu traditions, the killing of cows is illegal in many of the states except for a
Yep,
few. And
it's
each state has
considered
varying degrees
sacred.
of punishment for committing intentional
That's why you
cow
can see
slaughter.
cows in the
Keyword
street.
intentional. Cows accidentally get hit by cars all the time. Once a cow is too old to produce milk, it typically is released into the open to die naturally in the wild, ideally. Nonetheless, male cattle get it much worse, as they are deemed as kind of useless. Some places use them as draft animals for labor, some religious sects use them as sacrifices, but otherwise they are typically sold to the underground market for beef or hides. To this day, there are about 6 times as many female cows as male cattle in India, so that means, yeah, something's happening to the males. Nonetheless, India does
Yeah.
have the 3rd highest carbon emission rate after China and the US, 4th if you consider the EU. However, emission per capita, they rank pretty low at only about 2 kilotons per person. Contrast that with Qatar at about 40. There are 94 national parks, 501 animal sanctuaries across the country, where you can
That's
find
like
some of
a
the
lot.
national animals like the peacock,
Because they're a
the
big
Ganges red
country,
dolphin,
though.
the king cobra, the Indian elephant, and the highest population of Bengal tigers in the world, which are all highly protected. India also has the most irrigated land in the world, which allows them to become the #1 producer of multiple products like millet, bananas, lemons,
Millet?
limes, mangoes, ginger, chickpeas, milk, butter, fennel, jute, and about 75% of the world's spices alone.
As
come
I
from
mentioned,
India. Speaking
spices.
of which, food! Typically, you can find the staples roti, chapati,
Chapati.
and naan in the north, idli,
Roti.
and dosa in the south, and everybody eats rice. The more commonly commercialized Indian foods that we in the West grew up knowing, like samosas, tikka masala, tanduris, and my favorite Indian dish, palak paneer, these usually come from the northern regions of India. Seriously, India. You
If
take
that's
spinach
made of
and
like
make it fat.
leaves,
I love you guys. Otherwise, the West
I
is
think
mostly known for their
that's
chutneys
like,
and pickled
oh my god, I
foods,
forget the name
since
in
there's a high
Filipino
number of
of
Muslims
like
and
this food
Christians.
that it's
South
made
uses a
from
lot more
leaves.
coconut and has some of the best curries like porials, sambras, rasams, and tutus.
Tutu.
And the East is known for having the best desserts like peda, mishti doi,
That's like
rasgulla,
fishbowl.
and sandesh. Speaking of which, India is so diverse and complex that sometimes even Indian people need translators when going to different states. It's about to get 10 times more confusing in about 3, 2, 1.
Alright guys, so that's the first part of this reaction video for India. So we've learned a lot, like a lot of those things. So we've learned about some like about their food, about the places, their political anomalies or political geography, where like they were like divided into things like that, and there are some, area like claims and things like that. A fight against, fight against the land, something like that, because they are like bordered. Other, they have borders with other countries. So yeah, and yeah, there are a lot. Like I think I said a couple of like information that I've seen somewhere and heard somewhere. So if any of those are incorrect, like I might have remembered them incorrectly, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, if you have anything to share about what I've shared or anything that you want me to know, please let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to check those out. And yeah, watch out for part 2. I'm gonna be continuing my reaction on this one, so watch out for part 2 once I uploaded it. So yeah, so yeah, watch out for part 2. Please don't forget to click the notification bell once you've subscribed to my channel so that you'll be notified once I upload the second part of this reaction video. I think that's it for this video. Thanks again for watching. Hangtod sa sunod na itong pagkita. Amping lang kanunay. Bye.